We talked last week about illness and wellness and some of the unexpected possibilities that arise when we stop everything we're doing and deal with our body's message, which can come through as sickness or illness. I mean, there's no doubt that when we get sick, we give our bodies our full attention.
That's the idea. I mean, in fact, sometimes we don't, but the idea is your body's calling you to pay attention.
Right.
It's like, hey, look, something's going on. And, we have to be willing to move into the discomfort to discover what do we have to notice, what's there to notice.
Right.
Because often we just want to quiet the alarm, turn it off so that we're not bothered anymore, because it's interfering with the things we think we need to do.
Right.
Instead of showing us a way to maybe make us change so you can really do what you're supposed to do.
Right. And I think part of that, what I hear you saying, is about the change that we need to make or want to make. Sometimes people say, oh, I just wish I could get like a little sick or a little, my mom used to say, I wish I could just get a little cancer and then I could just like get to, I would have a rest, just like, yep.
Yeah.
And, we say like, oh, if I had to get that knee replacement, I would get 6 weeks off work or 2 weeks off work that I really need to take. But there are other tools that we can also use. And Qigong is one of them. Qigong is one of the beautiful tools that we can use to move through these times of illness or pain or discomfort. And so, we wanted to talk for a minute about why that works that way. Why is Qigong a good tool to use when I feel like I'm getting a cough or I'm feeling that itchy nose start? I mean, what is Qigong going to do for me in that moment?
Yeah, and yes, we that's really important to us, because we've really gone down the path of Qigong, you and me, and had a lot of really important discoveries in our own lives. But the question is why? And Qigong comes to us because we were looking for something. Mm-hmm. And I think for people who are looking for something, that is there something more going on here besides just this kind of like physical machinery that seems like it can break down or something? Like, if it's just about your physical machinery, then Qigong isn't going to answer many questions. Mm-hmm. But if you're wondering like, well, what's my life about? How does this all work? Are we related to nature and to the universe? What's our connection? Then Qigong becomes really, really helpful, because everything's connected. And Qigong is based on the fact that everything's connected. So if you have, a knee pain, a persistent knee pain, from a Qigong perspective, you understand it's not localized. Like, the actual problem is not just in your knee, it's showing up in your knee, but the problem is much more, it's a representation of a much more interrelated problem that you can do something about. So Qigong gives you something practical to get back into this realm of interconnectedness. So that's like really, really helpful, because so many things are pulling us away from our natural state of being connected. So it's just like your knee. If you look at your knee and think of it as being that knee, like, what about your hip and your ankle? Just on that leg, never mind the other leg. And what about your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist? Everything's connected. Your knee could be related to your elbow, and and many more things. So like, suddenly you have this vehicle, the Qigong vehicle, that can help you see how everything's connected and open up your understanding about yourself. And then that starts to inform you about a lot of things in your life that start to be more available to you that weren't open before.
Yeah,
so this
really beautiful.
That's like, looks like health. That's what health is. So moving to a state of greater connection.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And so Qigong itself is, we always say it's energy movement, which for about 10 years I really didn't understand while I was doing it. What is
Yeah.
energy movement? I mean, I know energy is moving around me and in me, but I don't understand why, why does moving my hand in a certain way help me connect energetically? And it's all because we have these meridian pathways that are like our invisible lines of communication
Yeah.
to all that around us. So these are really purposeful movements that, exactly what you're saying. I'm pointing to your Zoom screen there, Larry, but it's like exactly what you're saying. It's how do I reconnect? How do I like hook up to that 5G energy flow of my own body and my own health connection, and reconnect that, like rejuvenate that and make that flow again, so that my shoulder, elbow, wrist, hip, knee, ankle,
Joints. Yeah.
all of that can sync and can be, can move out the crap, right?
Yeah. We've talked about this, and I think at the beginning, the kinds of things you're talking about are not usually available to people. I mean, they don't understand. Pete, the new student, we were new students once, we don't understand. And you're
Absolutely.
just looking for relief,
Absolutely.
and often people are looking for relief, and they've been looking for a while. So
Mhm.
they come to Qigong after they've been looking. I mean, the typical person we see has been looking and trying a lot of different things, and problems are persisting.
Yeah.
So they're not getting the relief they really want. And so they maybe hear there's something to try in Qigong, but they don't know what Qigong is, or maybe they have some idea about, oh, it's about energy. And that doesn't really matter, because the Qigong itself, its nature is to build these interrelationships. So when you do it, inside something happens, because your body is, that's how your body actually works.
Right.
So it's actually, so therefore we say it's natural,
Yeah.
because it works with the way your body is actually working.
Yeah.
So that your body gets it.
Before
And
your mind,
your
way
body, your
before
mind,
your mind.
right? Because we've learned other things, so we have other understandings. And later your mind can come along, like you said, like we don't know what's energy. And Master Lu can teach about energy, and we can teach about energy, but even those are just words. Until you start to have an experience of like, well, how is it that happened?
Right.
That this
Absolutely.
change happens. And then there was this and this and this that happened that don't seem related, but somehow I'm starting to do Qigong, and I see these different things in different areas of my life starting to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we say, well, that's because underneath everything, you're becoming more balanced, therefore more open, more able to use and process the information that you're part of in this vast, amazing, interconnected world we're in.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
The
Beautiful.
potential is so vast. And,
Beautiful.
that's like, we say, oh, the word Qigong sounds so small, like it's just Qigong, just do Qigong like another method. It's
Right.
not a method. It's an introduction to life.
It's beautiful. It
You know,
really is. It really is the thing after being the Costco table sampler of all things for,
yeah.
that was my energy practice. Was like some of this, some of this, some of this, some of this, some of this. And finally discovering something that actually was like, wow, my world is suddenly starting to make a lot more sense. A lot more sense. And
Yeah,
that's
I
such a
mean, that's
beautiful
great.
experience. Yeah.
You're like we said, your path is, and mine too. Like we're all like
Absolutely.
everybody. It's part of modern life to want to sample. And again, it's sort of about breaking things down into parts. Like I'll do this for that. I'll do this for that. I'll do
Yeah.
this for that. And then I have this buffet of options. I have to remember, am I supposed to do this for my knee, and this for my shoulder, and this for my headache?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And okay, and sometimes you can get benefit. I'm not saying people don't get benefit, people can
Yeah.
get relief. But if what you're looking for is a deeper understanding of yourself, and how these are all opportunities to discover something deep about yourself, then then eventually you do what you did, which is somehow you found yourself attracted to learning Qigong.
Right. Well, it becomes, in a world where we have no time, finding one thing that covers all that stuff is a real
It's
time
very
saver.
useful.
It's a time saver. So that is, speaking of time, that's the end of
I
ours.
know, that's so great.
I know. We'll continue on. if you're interested in learning more about Qigong, you see this, you know all the ways to get in touch with us, and we'll put links on our Facebook page. You'll be getting this in an email likely. And, don't give up. You're going to find your way forward for sure if you
That's
just
great.
keep going.
That's
All right,
exactly
Larry.
right. Good. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Enjoy the day.